Good morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Markets are higher overnight. Macroeconomics and markets in the outside markets continue to move the grain futures. We got the dollar near a 10-day low. You got stocks higher, and you got crude higher, and most commodities are higher. In the soybean market, again, we're probably in more of a trading range, and some people think we'll continue to drift lower into the U.S. harvest. Looks like the Argentina soybean meal, soybean oil prices are cheaper than U.S. And while we have a little bit of an advantage over Brazil, Argentina soybeans are cheaper. And recently, China may have bought this week as much as 20 cargoes of Argentina beans. Argentina's new soy peso policy triggered a big increase in farmers selling in Argentina and lower FOB prices. That selling, though, has now slowed. Here in the United States, we have a USDA report on Monday. Some people, though, show a slight drop in the U.S. Soybean crop, but unchanged in the 22-23 carryout. The thing about beans is if we look at 21-22, plug in the July census and the August inspections, the USDA could drop U.S. soybean exports 10 to 15 million bushels in the old crop. China continues to be an unknown, but probably the increased tension between U.S. and China could reduce the amount of soybeans they buy from the U.S. Over in the corn market, we continue to be watching pretty closely the Ukraine situation. And after the president of Russia's speech about reevaluating the Ukraine export corridor, 70% of the Ukraine exports today has been corn. We also note that Ukraine and Brazil corn prices are below U.S., and there's some fear that we could lose as much as 300 million bushels of U.S. corn exports if they continue to be cheaper prices than U.S. USDA, the trade expects the USDA to show a little bit lower corn crop and a lower carryout for 22-23. But some people are adding 300 million bushels to that carryout due to the potential of lower U.S. corn exports. We'll be watching pretty closely as we start to get into some of the corn harvest to see if the yields are equal to what the USDA says, or maybe a little bit lower in some of the dry areas. Over in the wheat market, again, a lot of uncertainty as to how much wheat will be exported out of the Black Sea. Still reports of record Russia wheat crop, but their export pace to date is well below what would get to the USDA's 42 million metric tons. The U.S. ag attaché in China lowered his China soybean import number for 22-23 to 96.5 million tons versus the USDA's 98. So again, rest up for Monday's USDA report, and let's see how the market flow goes as we're seeing some kind of correction here in the steep drop in the crude commodities and the rally in the U.S. dollar. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services, and have a great weekend.